All right. I think we are live now. So this is the second stream. We had a first stream before tonight, but there was a little problem. So finally, this is fixed. So yeah, welcome back for if you're coming back here. So basically today we're going to do a step-by-step tutorial to code a blockchain app. And yeah, so this is going to be a crypto version of Patreon. But just one first, I'm gonna try to get the people from the previous stream. See if I can I get them? Let me see. Do I still have access to the chat of before? Unfortunately, no. Okay, let me tweet. I'm gonna tweet because I see nobody in the stream right now. So, and it's too bad. Like we had many people at the stream before, and everybody left. Let me see if we can get if we can get some people back. So how to get the link? The link for today. Oh, okay. I see some people coming back. Okay, let me tweet quickly. Hey guys, the stream URL is today is all right. We have some people. THX. Hector, Canan. Okay, oh, it's amazing. We have already 17 people back and more and more coming. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much to bear with me. What happened the first time? It's just basically I didn't have the right setting in OBS and there was no way the interface of OBS froze, so I couldn't change it. I had to close it, but when you close OBS, you also close the stream. So that sucks, but it's just the way it is. Okay. Finally, so as I was saying, we're gonna do a crypto version of Patreon today. So for that, we in terms of technology, so what are we going to use? So we're going to use JavaScript, all right? So we're going to use JavaScript. We're going to use Next.js. So that's a framework to easily make some JavaScript front-end application. And we are going to use Ethers.js, which is a JavaScript library to connect to the blockchain. In terms of API, we are going to use Infura, which allow you to send transaction to the block. Actually, are we going to need Infura at all? No. We're not going to use Infura at all, actually, because Metamask is already connected to the blockchain, so it's even more simple. So in our application, we're going to have different screen. One screen will show you all the influencers that I've registered. When you click on the link, it's going to send you to another page where you can see the details of this influencer, and you're going to have a button. And when you click on this button, you will be able to make a donation. Okay, and so then it's going to trigger Metamask, and Metamask, so that's the wallet that is used for the Ethereum blockchain. And Metamask is going to ask you to confirm this transaction. And after that, the transaction is done. And we're also going to have another screen to register to register the influencer so that they can add themselves to our crypto Patreon. Okay, so let's do it. Oh yeah, so very briefly, if you are new here, check out my free roadmap. Where I'm going to show you everything for what to learn and how to get your first job in crypto. All right. So let's get back to the code here. So how are we going to do that? So first, we are going to create a Next.js project. So let me do this. Okay, so first of all, I think we're going to increase a little bit the font because I don't think this is very visible like this. Yeah, I think like this is gonna be fine, right? Tell me if it's too small. Tell me in the chat if it's too small, but I think that's fine. So let's do it. So we're gonna create a new project. So I've installed Node.js already, and there is a utility npx that allow you to start some new project, and we're gonna use create next app, so it allow you to scaffold a new next project very easily. And so let's click here. So the name of your project. So we're gonna call our project crypto Patreon tutorial. All right. Do I want to use TypeScript? Of course I don't want to use TypeScript, okay? I want to build something. I don't want to waste my time. Do I want to use ESLint? Same answer, Mr. Tailwind CSS? Of course no. I use Bootstrap. src directory, yeah. App router, so yeah, that's the new thing of Next.js, Next.js 13 that I think was released like something like 1 year ago. So they've introduced a new way to navigate through their pages. So this is this app router thing. You want to customize the import alias? No. Okay, so it's going to install everything. Okay. So now let's go there. Krypton Patreon tutorial. Okay. Next, we are going to install a few things. So npm install. So we're gonna use Bootstrap because that's, yeah, just like Bootstrap to make the application nice. Then we have Ethers.js. Is it Ethers or Ethers.js? I have a doubt. npm install Ethers. Let me see what's the name of that. Yeah, it's just Ethers, right? Okay, so Ethers. What else? So Bootstrap, Ethers, and I think that's pretty much it for now. So let's install this. Okay, so let's open our project here. So we are going to first, I think the priority will be to show the different different influencer. So we'll go in the src, not this one, sorry. This tutorial, okay, this one. So we're going to go in the src directory, and so our home page, this is a page.js here. So basically when we load our app, this is what we're going to see. So let's do npm run dev. Okay, so it's going to start everything. And when we go to localhost, we're going to see the default of Next.js. Okay, so we're going to clean up everything because we don't need all this stuff. Yeah, someone's saying you can also use ChatGPT to build apps. Yeah, so this is what I did for this tutorial, but unfortunately ChatGPT, is not always up to date, And so, for example, for Next.js, he uses the old version. So I had to update this, and he never understand exactly what you want to do. So he helped me a little bit, but not entirely. Okay, so here we're gonna do some cleanup. And do we need the styles? Maybe, but let's do some cleanup, because here with the boilerplate, we don't need that global.css. All this stuff, we don't need this. Okay, so let's do a basic styling. Let's do a basic thing here. So let me see. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna check out what I've already done. So container, we're gonna do container text center. So this is some bootstrap class. Then we're gonna do a row. So the usual bootstrap thing. And then inside this row, we're going to have H1, so the title. So it's gonna be crypto Patreon, right? And then we're gonna like a small explanation of what we do. Tip your favorite influencer. Okay. And so now we need to load the data, because now we have 0 people. So first of all, let's see if it works. Crypto Patreon. Okay, it's working. It's a bit ugly like this. Oh, that's because we haven't loaded Bootstrap. Okay, so let's do this. So we go in layout, and let's do some cleanup here. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna cheat a little bit because this is not the most interesting. So yeah, this is what we're gonna have instead. So here we import Bootstrap. Here we defined some SEO stuff, so title, description, and yeah. So now we have Bootstrap. So if we go back, now it's slightly better. Okay, so let's go back to the page. So we are going to load the influencer. So those influencers, we need to store them somewhere. So even though this is a crypto app, nobody says that you don't have the right to use a centralized database, right? So as long as nothing critical is in the influencer in the database, that's completely fine. So we're gonna use for the database Postgres, okay, which is a very commonly used tech for database. And since I don't want to waste my time to set up my own Postgres, I'm gonna use a service called Supabase, which allow you to create and manage your Postgres database very easily. First of all, we're gonna create the code. So let me do this. So here I'm gonna create another function to. So first of all, let's discuss something important. So in Next.js, you have two kind of components. So here, a component is basically like a page or a part of a page. So here, your component, you can either render it on the backend or on the front end. So what does it mean? So render it, it's basically transform this into some HTML, because here this is some React code. But the browser doesn't understand React. The browser expects some HTML. So we need to transform this React code into HTML. That's what we mean by render. And if it's done, so for simple screen like this one, where you don't need interactivity, you can do it on the back end. But if you need interactivity, you will do it on the front end. So here We just need to fetch some data from a database and list it. So this can be a server component. Okay, so let's define a function to fetch our data. So we're gonna call this get influencers. And this is gonna be async because we're gonna run a database. So after, what we're gonna do a try catch block, because it's when we do our call to the database, it's possible that it fails. So we need to catch this. So if there is an error, we're going to log it like this. And otherwise, we're gonna fetch our data. So here we're gonna make our database call, and we're gonna extract two objects from it. So we're gonna use an object that is called Supabase, and it's not, we don't have it yet, but don't worry, we're gonna have it after. So Supabase, and for that we're going to use the library of Supabase, because you can, if you want, you don't need the library, you can use the API directly, but they have an npm package that makes it easier. So here the syntax is, first you select the table. So the table is basically like the container where you put your data. So we're gonna have a table that is called influencer, right? And we're gonna have and then you select the columns that you want. So in each table, so each entry is basically what we call a row, and this row has several fields, or we also call them column. So you need to specify which field that you want. You cannot just say, hey, just give me the whole row. You have to specify exactly what you want. So the way you do this is you put the name of the field, name, YouTube channel, ID, like this, and you separate them with comma. And so normally we should have something from data here. And after, what you're going to do is just going to return that, and you put this in the props key. So that's a convention of Next.js, and you put the data here. All right. That's pretty much all we need to do. And so of course we need to get this Supabase object. So how are we going to do this? Well, we are going to create it. And the reason why we don't create this object in this file is because we're going to need it in several other places in our code. So we don't want to duplicate our effort. We just want to write the code just once. So let's import it here. And now we are going to create this new file. So utils.js. All right. And next, so we're going to create this object here. So import create client from, and here this is a package that we haven't installed yet. So Supabase.js. All right. Create client. And so that's that basically you use this object, this function create client, to create a Supabase client. And so you need to pass it your credential. So we are going to import all of this because we don't have this yet. Supabase project URL, and the other one is the key process.inf. Supabase API key. All right, and then we're just gonna export this. All right, so now of course we need to install this. So let's create a new terminal. And let's go in the correct folder, npm install Supabase JS. All right. Okay, so now we have it. We also need to create an .env file so that we can store safely our credential. So you could put your credential directly here, but this is not the best way to do it. The best way is by creating a .env file, so where you're going to put all your secret. And so here we're going to put our two thing. Supabase URL, Supabase API key. And how comes we will be able to read these two value from our JavaScript file? It's because that's the mechanics of Next.js. Next.js automatically is going to populate, it's going to read this .env file, it's going to populate it in at this location. So this is some magic. And so now, of course, we need to know the URL and the API key for that. So for that, how are you going to do it? So you're gonna go to Supabase here, and you're gonna create a new account. Okay, so they have different ways to log in. So the easiest is with your GitHub account. You can create a free account, and for this tutorial, it's going to be enough. And then you're going to create a new database. Okay, so in your dashboard. So in your dashboard, basically you have. Let me see, where is it? So basically, you can create a new project in your dashboard, and then once you have your new project, you're going to let me see, authentication. Where is it? I hope I'm not going to leak my API key. Where is it? Authentication policy. API is probably in API project setting, maybe. Where did I find it? Authentication. Where did I find? Anyway, somewhere you're gonna have the API key, okay, that you're gonna read. You're gonna copy paste and in your .env file here. And so with this you can connect to your database. So of course make sure to not lose them, okay, because or to leak them on GitHub, because otherwise anybody can use them to access your database. So if it's just a tutorial, it's not too bad, but if it's a production thing, it's more problematic. Okay, so next, once we have this in place, the next thing you want to do in here would be you go in the table editor and you're going to create a new table. Okay, so I call this influencers, and after you're going to create a few columns. So here, enable row level security. I recommend for tutorials to remove this, because this is basically some annoying stuff that just makes it more complex to connect to your to your database. So for production app, it's better to have it, but for when we're just learning, it doesn't matter. And here we're gonna have a couple of columns. So we're gonna have the name of the influencer. It's gonna be a text, and it's not gonna be nullable, meaning that you have to put something, and that's unique. What else we're gonna have? We're gonna have the description of the influencer. In description, it's not nullable, but doesn't need to be unique. Then Then what else? We're gonna have after the description, we are going to have the YouTube channel. So link to your YouTube channel, text also, in that is not nullable and that is unique. And finally, the crypto wallet. So we want to know the wallet of the influencer. And so that's not nullable. And it needs to be unique, so one wallet per influencer. And then you click on save and it's going to create a new table. So I've already created my table, so I don't need to do it again. And so after, you're going to see your table appearing here. And so here you can see I already have one record inside. And we can manually insert also something. So that's great if you want to populate some data. So here, what, let's delete this row, delete it. All right. Let's insert a new row. So name Julian, description, the best YouTube channel for blockchain development, link to the YouTube channel. So let's find this. Let's put it here. Wallet, for sure. So wallet. Let me see. This is my wallet. All right. So let's put it here. All right. So now we have everything in the database. We have this in the database. So we will get some data. Okay. So next we need to display this. So back to our project. So in the home page, what we're going to do is we're going to call our function getInfluencer. Right? So how are we going to do that? So first of all, we define a variable data, then getInfluencer, and after we need to make sure that so why is not happy? Oh, because here I need to make this an async function because I use the await keyword. Then let's extract influencer. Influencers. Gonna make it const. So first, let's check that data was returned. Then data props. Then data props dot influencers. And if that's the case, then we get this. Otherwise, just undefined. All right. So we get influencer. And after that, what we're going to do is we are going to have a table. So we're going to display everything in the table. So let's check that we have some influencers here. And if we have some influencer and it's not the length, and there is a length, and the length is superior to 0, means we found some people in our table, we are going to show something. Otherwise, we show nothing. Right. So, oh no, not null. Maybe I think it's undefined. Is it? No, null is fine. So why is not happy? Influencer. Okay, let's see later. I'm not sure why it's not happy. So let's create our table. Let's give it some bootstrap class so that it's not too ugly. And no, this is gonna be no. So what am I doing? Table bordered. Okay. Then we're gonna put a T head, so that's basically the header of our column. Then let's TR TH. So name. Then the YouTube. What do we want else? The YouTube channel. And then the link to the individual page of the influencer. Link. I see some question in the chat that say, hey, how much to learn for blockchain development, etc. So all these people, just check my free training. Okay, I already posted it before. I'm gonna pin it. I'm gonna pin it in the chat. eattheblock.com/roadmap. You'll have answer to all your questions to make it in blockchain. All right. So after that, we're gonna have the T body. All right, and finally, we're gonna loop through all the influencer. So influencer dot map. And let's have this inside. So for each influencer, we're gonna have a new row in our table. And we're going to put the name. So the first column is the name of the influencer. Then is the YouTube channel. And finally, it's going to be a link. So YouTube channel and the link. So for the link, how are we going to do that? href and let's do /influencers /influencer ID. So we're gonna have another screen /influencer /the ID where we're gonna see a specific influencer. All right, so that's gonna be, yeah, that's the URL. Then we call this link, and all right, and so we good. Now let's remove this. We don't need to. Yeah, and it seems pretty good to me. Okay, so now one thing that we don't have is the .env. Okay, so I'm going to copy paste my environment variable, but before that I will need to hide it so that you don't steal it from me. So let me do this secretly, far from everybody site. All right, so now I have my credential. Okay, so let's go back here, and so let's see here, do we have an issue? So is he happy or is he not happy? What do we have? error, Supabase URL is required. Yeah, so that's because we had nothing. That's because we had nothing. We didn't have the credential yet. But if we reload our app now, is he happy now? No, still not happy. Why is that? Okay, so let's reload it and see if it changed anything. Still not happy. So Supabase project URL and the API key. Okay, so maybe I didn't save the file. Okay, maybe I didn't save .env. Or maybe I didn't put .env at the right place. Oh, okay, I got it. So that's because, so .env needs to be at the root of the project. Okay, typical newbie mistake. Right, so now it's working. Crypto Patreon, tip your favorite influencer, but it's strange that we don't see any influencer because there should be at least one. So let me see do we have any problem here? No. So at least in the log, everything is fine. So you know what? We're gonna do some debugging. Console log data. Let me see what we get from influencer. Okay, so we get something. So data props. Data. Let me see. Let me see what we get. Okay, so data props data. Okay. No. Data props. Maybe there is no influencer here. Okay, it's just this one. Because here I should have called this influence. Okay, let's call this influencer. It makes more sense. So let's call this, yeah. So now if we do it that way, yes, and now it's working. Okay, so tip your favorite influencer, Julian, and if we click here, of course this is not going to work because we haven't created this page yet. Okay, so now we can list all the influencer. So next, it'll be nice if we had a page where influencer could add themselves, right? Otherwise it doesn't really work if we have to do it ourselves. So we are going to do this. How are we going to do that? So for that, basically, we're going to create a new folder called influencers. No, not here. Wrong location. In src in app src app. Okay. So yes. So let's create a new folder called influencers. Okay, not here. It needs to be in app. Correct. And after, in influencer, we're gonna create a new folder that we're gonna call a bracket ID. So that's a weird name for, let me see. Now a new sorry, this is gonna be a new subfolder .id. And I know that it's a little bit strange to have a folder name like this, but that's because this is the convention of Next.js. So if we want our URL to be influencer / the ID, then a dynamic URL, then it's like this. And then inside this ID, our page, we're going to call it page.js. Okay. Let's put it in influencer. So let me see. Does it mean it's influencer slash? I think so. Let me see. Influencer slash ID. Yeah. Okay. And then inside this page, we are going to render. We are going to render the how do you say? We are going to render the influencer. So now we need to think if this is going to be a component, a server-side component, or a client-side component. So to just fetch the information from a database, we can do it on the server. But the problem is that there's going to be a button, pay the influencer, and this button. So it requires some dynamic component on the page. So because of that, we need to have this we need to make it a dynamic component, and it's a little bit more complex, but it's just the way it is. So let's do this. So use client, okay, and it's gonna be export default function. Let's see, export default function, and let's call this what? Influencer, right? So return. And now what we want to do is we want to read from the URL. Let me see, how are we going to do this? We basically want to read the URL. We want to read the we want to read the ID from the URL. Okay. So we need to, I think we need to use a hook for this. So I think this is the use params. Let me see. So I'm actually not that experienced in Next.js. I'm more experienced in pure blockchain things, but I think this is this thing, use params. Okay. So we're gonna try it. We're gonna try what we can get from that. So params equal use params. Yeah, and let's just console log what we have here. And here, let's just do something like this now. Hi guys, influencer. Hi, I am an influencer, right? So let's do it like this. So crypto Patreon. Now let's go to influencer 2. And hi, I'm an influencer. Okay, awesome. And if we go in the console, we get an object. Awesome. With an object with the ID that we want. Amazing. Amazing. So this is params.id, right? From what I understand. Yes, param.id. Okay, amazing. So next we are going to fetch from the database. We're going to fetch from the database the influencer. Now the problem is that we don't want, I'm not very comfortable in giving some API credential to the front end. So it's possible to do it well in a secure way. Basically, I don't know if you remember, but before when we were creating our database on Supabase, I mentioned that they have this weird rule that is super annoying. Let me see, what's the name of that? What's the name of this rule that I don't like? Dashboard, crypto Patreon. So table editor, new table. Oh yeah, row level security. Okay, so me, I disable it because that's just easier. It's easier to connect to the database like this. But if you wanted to connect from the front end, you leave it enabled, but then you will need to create a new role in your database, and this role would only be allowed to read from the influencer table, and that's it, no other capabilities. And then this role is going to be associated to another API key, and this is the API key that you will give to the front end. So in this case, that's secure because they can only do one thing. So basically, that's this thing, row level security, enable you to have API key with different level of capabilities. But we are not gonna do that. I prefer to create a backend. A backend endpoint that fetch the data for me, and yeah, but there are different ways to do it basically. So for that, if you want to keep it on the backend, that means we will need to use effect from React. So basically, this allows to trigger some code when this component is loading. So here, let's do something like this. And this code here means you are going to run what's inside the function the first time this component, this screen loads on the front end. Here we're going to define an inner function because we need some async code. And we cannot directly, if you try to use the await keyword here, it's not going to work because it wants the surrounding function to be async, but we cannot make this callback async. So the trick is to define an inner function like this, and then you execute it. So basically here, we're going to use the fetch function to get to hit an endpoint on the backend, an endpoint that we haven't implemented yet, but we will do it after. And the backend will send us the influencer, and then we can display them. So you know what? I'm a little bit lazy, so I like to cheat a little bit. And I like to steal some code that I've done before. So let me see if I can find this somewhere. Because I've definitely created some code almost like this just before. So let's see where we can. Just give me a second. So crypto, what was it that I was doing before? Right, almost there. Oh yeah, okay, I found it. I found what I was looking for. All right. Got it. So here's what we're gonna do. So first of all, we use the fetch function of JavaScript that allow you to do some HTTP request. Then we specify our endpoint. So here's gonna be influencers API, and so this is gonna be a get request. So we want some JSON. So here we specify the headers like this, and we don't need to. Oh yeah, no, we do specify. We do need to specify the ID that we want. So here. Let me see. So let me see. In use params, let me see, how are we going to do this? Can we use params like this? Probably. Oh, no. No, use effect, and when the ID, okay, we have a better way to do it. So here we're gonna define a state, okay? ID, set ID, because the problem is that we don't know exactly when we'll be able to get this data. So it needs to be a state. So we use a React state, use state. Okay, so use effect, use state. And at the beginning is undefined, it's nothing. Okay. And how are we going to do this? So when let me see, or maybe we can do it directly here, params.id. Let me see if it's gonna work. Hope so. Maybe it can work directly like this. All right, so here we have a syntax problem. What's the issue? Params, use effect. Okay, why it's not happy? Maybe so. Try catch. Maybe this one here. Let me see. Try catch. Yeah, seems like now it's working. Okay, and so here we're gonna pass the ID and it should be fine. Okay, and so the next thing is that we need to do is create an API endpoint for influencer. Okay, so how are we going to do this? So are we going to put it in influencer /ID? Possibly. So in this case, we're going to create an API folder here. Okay, at the same level as ID, and inside we're going to create a file called route.js. Okay, and inside this route.js, what we're going to do is create this allows us to intercept some incoming request, and this is basically how you define an endpoint. So here, let's create a function for that. Export async function. Let's call this get, and we're gonna get a request object. Okay, and then we need to extract from this request object the ID from the ID. Yeah, we need to extract the dynamic ID. Okay, so how to do this in Next.js? So let me see. Let me see how to do that in Next.js. So there's some props. You know what? We're gonna console log. Console log the request, and we're gonna see what we get inside. Okay, so because the params must be inside, and we need to answer something. So we're gonna answer something positive like this. Response.json. This is how you answer in yeah, something empty. And so by default, this is gonna be 200. Okay, so now let's modify a little bit this. So influencer slash, okay, so now we're gonna make it dynamic. So influencer, now it's gonna be ID slash API in, all right. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, so let me see the terminal. Do we have any issue? No. No. Okay, so now we're gonna load our page, and normally we should see a console log. That should tell us what we have server side. So let's do it again. So what's wrong? What's wrong? Okay, so here let's just comment that this is some code I had before. So for now we're not going to do anything with that. So yeah, let's try again. And now we get nothing. Great, we get nothing. Okay, are we even hitting this API route? Here, I want to be here, please. Want to be here. And so apparently it's never or maybe it's on the fronts. Maybe this is never executed. Okay, maybe this thing here is hello. Yeah, you can see my advanced debugging technique, but that's how we always do it. Okay, hello. So we are here. Very good. Very good. So here's maybe params ID. Okay, maybe here was, okay, let's try to console log param ID here. See what we get. We get it. Amazing. We get it. Okay. So I feel like now, do we go here? Let's see. I want to see it here. Hello. How are you? Hello. Let's load this. Hello, Ella. Yeah. Yes, we get here. So we do influencer slash params.api. We do have it. Okay, so what do we get here? What is the response? What is the response? Okay, we're making some progress. We know that this is executed, but I want to know what we get from here. So Seems like we don't get anything. So now that is not executed. It's not, doesn't get us any answers. Let me see where these blocks, where. Okay, so it's not. So here we're awaiting, and we're awaiting forever. Why is that? Eli, okay, and then await, fetch, and then it's gone. It's like, yeah, whatever, man. I'm not doing it. Not. Okay, maybe, you know what? Maybe we can try to. Let's try to have another. Maybe this is because it doesn't like the API is inside too nested. I'm not sure exactly, but maybe that's the problem. Okay, so someone asked me, is there a reason why you don't code in Solidity? But that's because we're doing an app which is going to be a crypto app. So basically, first, yeah. So we are going to connect to we're going to connect to the blockchain later. But first, we need the minimum. We need to do some stuff first. Okay. So okay. How are we going to fix this issue? Let's change our strategy and let's move this to like maybe okay, we're gonna move it elsewhere. So let's move it to influencer. Okay, so now let's try to do it differently. So params. Now we're gonna do it in a different way. All right. So now let's see if this works. We still have export async get function. And it's not. So apparently it doesn't like. I'm trying to hit here influencer/API.route, but for some reason this is not. It doesn't. Yeah. Let me see why. It only does this, but then when we try to fetch this, it's just locked basically. Why is that? Or maybe that actually there is a mistake somewhere. Okay, it's possible that actually there is an error that is not caught. So okay. fail to execute fetch get head method cannot have body. Okay. I am stupido. Okay. So that's my fault. That's entirely my fault. So let's get back to. Okay, so we cannot have a body. That's true. So here. So maybe I think what I was doing initially was actually the right thing. Okay, so we're making some progress. Params.id. Yeah, so just some people who complain like, yeah, like why we're not doing more Solidity. You know, any blockchain app is like 95% JavaScript and CSS. So there's just a very small part that is on the blockchain. But for this app specifically, is even more tiny because we're just doing payments. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna put it back to where it was before in ID here. Okay. And I think this time, this is going to work. Okay, so I feel like I feel like this is working now. So now let me see what we get in the params thing. So the params object. So I want to find ID. Okay, so URL. So we see if we dot URL. Okay, that's interesting. Dot past name. But I want to find the ID. Okay, so still don't know how to extract. Okay, let me see. Okay, maybe this is in search params. Okay, let's try this. So API route search param. Console. Okay, let's try again. So let's scroll down. Let's reload. Not happy. No. Okay, so does he even get a search params? This is what I saw on the doc, but maybe that's not right. So that's not search params. Okay, that's not that. So what is it? Let me search. So how to get, basically what we're trying to do is to get to intercept the dynamic route. This is what I'm looking for. So params. Okay, so this in params I should get something. So I found it in the doc. So now if I do it again, it's because I'm not. It's not params. Okay, still not the right thing. So what else it could be? It's not. That's strange because that is what I see in the documentation of Next.js. It should be. Let's try again to log request, okay? Because I think we are missing something here. It has to be on the request object, okay? It has to be. So let's do it again. Which field is it? It's not headers. No. Here there is a search params, but we have to go in url.search params. Okay, so let's try this. No. Why request.url then? Okay. Use search param. I really wonder how this thing works. Why we cannot get the ID? Okay, we're just gonna do it maybe in a simple way. We're just gonna like split it. Okay, you know what? Let's just split it, and this is not the best way to do it, but you know what? Whatever works. Okay, so let's split it like this, and we're just gonna get this element, and it should be fine. Can't believe it. We got stuck so long here. All right. So now, why it's not? No, it should not be. Okay, so HTTP. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Okay, sorry. 5. So it's quite ugly, but it works. No. No. 4. 2. Okay, finally we get it. Okay, so now finally here we have the ID. Okay, after a lot of fighting. Hey, I didn't give up. I stay on the battlefield. You can say whatever you want in the chat. I stayed in the battlefield. Okay, Julian 1, Next.js 0. All right, no discussion. So now let's get back. We are back in the battle. So now we need to get the information that we need from Supabase. So let's check out the code that we had here, okay, and we're gonna read from influencer, and so we want the which information we want. So the names, and we want everything. Basically, want everything. Description, YouTube channel, the wallet, very important. We want the wallet. Okay, name, description, YouTube channel, blah blah blah. And so here we're gonna return a response with everything. So influencer singular. Okay, that's the data. Okay, otherwise, if this is not, if we have a problem, then what we're gonna do is, so if we are here, it means that there's a problem with the database. So in this case, you're gonna put a message, problem connection, problem with database, something like this. And we need to change the status also of this message, so that the status, that's basically the HTTP code. So we're gonna put 200, and yeah, and so no, it's not 200, it's 500. Yeah, and so we need to return that. Okay, from influencer, we need the where here, where, and it's going to, okay, here we just want one. It's gonna return an array, but we just want the first one. Where, I think it's not where, I think it's equal. So the equivalent of where is equal. So equal, this is gonna be ID, and where is this one? Okay. So, oh yeah, we also need to import our Supabase. So let's see how we did here. In the routes. So here's not. So how many? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I think now that's fine. So let's remove all those console log. Let's see what we get this time. Because this time we should get a good answer. Okay, we should get what we're looking for. Internal server error, right? So what's your problem, my friend? You're just not happy, but you don't say why. Okay, just not happy. Well, maybe you should say why you're not happy, because otherwise I cannot guess. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No way. No way. We got it. We got it. Finally, we get the data from the front end. Oh my god. Oh my god. I know it's it's just so small, but because we struggled so much in this tutorial, I feel like it's such a big achievement. Okay, so you know what? Let's simplify it in the route. We don't even need. Oh no, we do need to have a key. So yeah, it's just gonna be. Wait a second. Can we? Hey, can we just do it like this? In this case, yeah, because I don't want to have any key. Maybe it's even more clean like this. So here, we have the object directly. Okay, so finally we can display it in the front end. So here what we're going to do is set influencer here, right? Okay, so set influencer, use state and define. Okay, and now we are going to display it. Okay, so just give me 1 second. I check my cheat sheet. So you know what? Let's save some time. I'm just gonna do some copy pasting here because we're already quite late. So let's do. Yeah, let's do some nice copy pasting. This is the best method for going quickly, huh? Copy pasting. So basically what we have is here we check that we have something with the influencer state, and if that's the case, then we're gonna render a list with name, description, YouTube channel, wallet, and let's remove this, and we're gonna have a button to pay, and we need to code this button, and so this button is going to be connected to our Metamask wallet. All right, so amazing. Tip your favorite influencer. Okay, so here if we click on pay, then it's going to trigger our Metamask. Okay, so for that we're going to do something else. We're going to create a function pay. Okay, so prevent. I mean, this is not part of a form, so I don't think it matters that. Yeah, I don't think it matters that I do this, but on submit. So on submit, and this is gonna be on submit pay. All right, so prevent pay. Right. Pay. And no, it's not triggered. Pay. Let me see, what's the problem? Isn't it? Let's try another way. No. What's the problem? On click. Maybe this is on click. Okay. Let's try again. So now when we click, we pay. Okay, we see the message. So now what we need to do is to build a transaction and ask Metamask to, we're going to ask, say, Metamask, hey, can you ask, the user needs to confirm that he wants to do this transaction. So there are several steps that we need to have. So step one is connect, allow, enable, allow the app in Metamask. So basically, the user needs to approve this app to be used by Metamask. So that's step one. Step two, it's going to be so basically it's going to be to submit transaction request to Metamask. And step three, user validate and transaction is sent to the Ethereum blockchain. And so that is going to be done by Metamask. So from our perspective, we don't need to connect to the blockchain. We just need to manage this connection to Metamask. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice because that's really a big complexity that we don't have. So you can see that actually the part that is our app actually doesn't touch the blockchain directly. Okay, and so there was several ways to do this app. Like we could have done everything in a smart contract, but that's it's basically if we do everything in a smart contract, it's more expensive. So if we do it that way, it's just the most critical part, the payment that is done via MetaMask. So we actually simplify a lot, and we also reduce the transaction fee a lot. Okay, so the first part is going to be to instantiate, to connect MetaMask. So how are we going to do this? So give me, so we're gonna need to import MetaMask. We're gonna import Ethers first, right? So let's do this. I'm not sure this is the syntax for V5. I think for V5 we import it directly. Let me see. Do we have anything here? Let me see. Because that's quite, in the documentation, it's a bit misleading because sometimes you see the V4, but it's quite confusing. Okay, so here it seems like it is working this way. So let me see. So we actually let's go and pay. In here, what we're going to do is Ethers providers. So there are different ways that Ethers can connect to the blockchain. You can connect to the blockchain directly. So if you give it a URL to a node, so node is a computer on the Ethereum network, you can connect to it directly. But if you work with Metamask, it's a little bit more indirect. And so on Metamask, Metamask will be injected in the browser like this, okay? So in this object, window.ethereum. So me here, I have Metamask already installed. So yeah, so if you never use Metamask, so quick intro for all the newbie here. So that's basically a wallet that you can use for Ethereum, and you can store your crypto, but you can also use it to send some tokens and also to validate any sort of transactions that you want to do. And so in Metamask, this is a browser extension, so you can actually install it with the Google Chrome. Okay, so Google Chrome, Metamask. Okay, so just go there, you install it, and then you're going to see a little fox that appear here. And so basically Metamask, what it's going to have is a password. So it's a secret password that is called a private key, and with this private key you can do all your transactions. But this private key never leaves Metamask, okay? So our app will never have access to this. It's just that Metamask will sign the transaction that I sent to the blockchain by using this private key. And this is how we can stay secure, because if this private key ever leave the wallet, then everything is compromised. All right, so let's go back to our code. So we have our provider here, and then we're gonna get a signer object on the provider. So this will allow you to send to basically send money. So after that, we need to build a transaction. So transaction request, and let's build an object here. Let me see. And transaction request. So we're gonna specify the address of the influencer. So influencer.wallet, okay. Then for the value, so what we're gonna do is ethers.utils.pass ether. So I'm not sure if in v5 this is still like this. Let me see. Pass ether. So you see, like if you search it, sometimes you find v4, but that's not correct. So we want so actually, what am I saying with v5? We are at v6. Pass. And let's make sure which version we have exactly, okay? Because maybe we're saying some bullshit here. So let's see the package.json. Ether version 6. Okay, so you see, it's very important to check the version, because otherwise you will make some mistake. So pass ether, unit conversion, pass ether, convert a decimal ether to a big int. Okay, so here the problem we have is that when we specify the ether transfer, we speak in terms of full ether, but one full ether is not how the blockchain process those transactions. The blockchain works with a much smaller unit that is called a way. So basically 10 power 18 is 1 ether. So we are going to transform our ether into a way, and we're going to do this with this utility pass ether. But I just want to make sure that understand on which object this is. API utilities. So it doesn't say where is it. So I do hope. Yeah, basically we don't know if it's dot utilities or not. Let me see. I think it's dot utilities. Okay, let's see how it goes. So ethers.pass ether, and here we're going to provide a string, and let's just to simplify, let's say that everybody makes the same donation. It's for example 0.01 ether. So how much is ether today? Ether price, so United States dollar, $3,000. Okay, so 0. times $3,000, that's $3. Okay, that's two. Yeah, well, let's do it. 0.01, yeah, that's $30. Okay, so that's a decent number. So let's do this. $30 the donation, right? So now we have our two parameter. Then what else we're gonna do? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sign the transaction, send transaction, and put the transaction request. And here we can console log this. Okay, and here let's make this async. Okay, so oh, okay, so import error ethers util. Here you see ether utils is not exported from ether. Okay, this is what I thought. So here we have to actually export it like this, util. And here, let me see if it fixes. It's not exported. Utils is not exported from ether. Okay, so in this case, what we're gonna do is just gonna inspect what we get from here. So import A. And just tell me what you got, man. Tell me what you got, and we're gonna fix the problem. All right, so let's just comment everything back here. So not ether, A. Where do you see this? Oh, 13, where we have, oh, here. So let's click on pay, and we have nothing. Okay, so we have ethers, that's for sure, but what else do we have? So let's go back to, you know what, let's check on GitHub. Ethers v6 GitHub. Let's just read the code and see if we can get it. So let's see. Utils. So index, import everything. Oh, so no, it just import everything as ethers. Okay, so there is okay, so it import everything as ethers, and then it export everything. but it also export. Okay, so I think everything, there are two things, like each module is exported individually, but also this is in the Ethers package. Okay, interesting. So let's try this. Import everything as a. Okay, and let's see what we got. Okay, so different module. Do we have util? Util. No. You have I think the utils are directly. Okay, got it. Okay, it's directly. So there is no need to do .utils. It's just directly on it. Okay, so here is ethers.pass ether. Okay, finally. So what's the problem here? Providers is not exported from ether. Okay, so I think this is the same thing. Like maybe this is directly on it. Web3 provider is not exported from ethers. Okay, so no problem. So let's check, where is it? So now it's not called, it's called browser provider. Okay, got it. You see, it's great. You learn how to navigate the doc. Okay, so. All right. So. So now. Okay, so signer send transaction is not a function. All right, so let me unlock. And so you see, Metamask here is asking me if I want to connect. So I will say yes. And this is the first step. Okay, so this is connecting. Okay, but then it tells me that signer send transaction. Okay, so let's go back to the doc. We're almost there. Send transaction. All right. So what happened to send transaction? Maybe with v6 this is another function. Okay, let me do some research here. Okay, let me see the chat a little bit. Let's go back to the chat. See if there's anybody still here. Okay. So in the chat, I can see that some people are helping me. Okay, so thank you very much. Correct here is telling me browser provider, JSON RPC signer. Yes. So JSON RPC signer, are you sure about this? Because JSON RPC provider, I thought that was when you have a local blockchain. Let me see. JSON RPC signer. So signer, what is this thing? JSON RPC signer. All right, let's try it. Let's try it. Whatever. So ethers. You know what? It's what is great when you are coding with many brain is that we will get it because someone is going to make a good suggestion. So JSON RPC signer. All right. So here, instead of this one, let's do signer. Get JSON RPC. I've never used the RPC signer, so we'll see what it is. And let's console log this to know what it is, okay? I hope that this is the same function. All right, so let's do this. Okay, let's pay. Get JSON RPC signer is not a function. God damn it. JSON. Oh, no. What am I doing? JSON RPC signer. Okay, no. I think it's probably. Let me see. Probably decent JSON RPC. RPC signer. Let's see how does this work. The simple signer, which is backed by connected JSON RPC provider. Okay, so all right, so let me see. We have some suggestion in the chat. Hey, this is the first time that we are coding like this with some help from the chat. Hey, thanks so much, Corex. You're amazing. So let's try this. We're gonna make it. So Web3 provider, but we don't have. No, but we don't. We don't have the Web3 provider. That's the thing. No, the Web3 provider doesn't exist anymore. Let's see this. It's not 5. I want 6. It's actually. Oh, you see, this is so annoying. Like when it'd be great if like you could just be sure that you are on V6, but so V6 Web3 provider. Let's just. Okay, Web3 provider is not called, so it's not the same name anymore. Okay, in V6 is browser provider. Okay. Okay, so now it's not. It's broadcast transaction. Okay. So no. Let's go back how we were before. Let's go back. Yeah, that's already what we're doing here. It's like Ethers provide browser providers, window Ethereum, and then get signer. So yeah, that's you're saying that if we do await, I was missing the await keyword. Okay, fair enough. And then here instead of send transaction might be broadcast transaction. Okay, and I think actually at this level, this is probably when the connection to MetaMask is initiated. So just so you know, the other people, this has changed a lot because in the past, the flow was a little bit different. We needed to request manually to get this connection done. But now it's done automatically by Ethers. Broadcast transaction. All right, so let's go back. Broadcast transaction is not a function. Okay, so what am I? No. Sign, it's not a signed transaction. Definitely not a signed transaction. So with send. Okay, guys, I'm going to do some. Okay, so let's try send transaction again, because maybe that was this await that we were missing here. Send transaction. Okay, back. Metamask RPC error, insufficient gas for gas price. Okay, fair enough. Insufficient funds, but why Metamask didn't? Okay, so let's do it. Let's do something lower, 0.01. Okay, so am I on the right network? Ethereum, yeah. So let's do it again. Pay. And now estimated fee. Oh my God. Estimate. So if I click on confirm now, I will actually send the money to myself. Wow, this is working, guys. Yeah, this is working. Woo! This is working. It wasn't easy, but we fought to the end, okay? And we did this as a team with everybody participating in the chat. So thank you so much. That's amazing. Wow. Yeah, you see, like just never give up. Like at some point, it's going to work. So, it's not always easy to navigate all these different this documentation that is very outdated, and this is really amazing. This is super annoying, but but yeah, altogether we managed to do it. So yeah, thank you everybody for your patience, and yeah, that was great. So actually, there was this app is not complete. There is still a small part that I wanted to do. This is another screen where we can just add a new influencer. But you know what? We've already spent way too much time on this app. And I'm very sorry because I wasn't well prepared for that. And the reason I wasn't well prepared for this app is actually I was working on another app, okay? The initial idea wasn't to do that. The initial idea was to do a wallet connected to Twitter that allow people basically to make donation on Twitter with their tweet and have a webhook connected to a backend that send the money directly, so that's a way to make donation in a very public way. And I thought that was a really cool idea. So I tried it. I worked all day on that. And at the last moment, I realized I forgot to check a very important detail, which is the API of Twitter. And I realized the API of Twitter doesn't have webhooks, or at least not for the free version. They have a very expensive version, like premium version, where they do have some webhook, but that's not clear that I would be able to do what I want to do. So anyway, I'm never gonna pay like $5,000 for the for the super premium API. But so I just 1 hour before the stream, I had to rush to find another idea. So I came up with this. So I know that some of you are a little bit disappointed that we didn't spend any time on Solidity. Look, we're gonna have other streams. Sometime we're gonna spend more time on Solidity, but today that was the idea. Okay. So is there any last question in the chat before we finish? So let me see a little bit what we have here. Satya, so can anyone tell me what do we have to learn web development to start the blockchain? It depends what you want to do in blockchain. What pay the most is Solidity, that's for sure. But it's also possible to do full stack blockchain applications. So in which case you have to learn the front end. But in my bootcamp on Solidity, we only do Solidity because that's the most valuable. And so if you guys are interested to participate in the next bootcamp, the first thing before you enroll, check out my free training, completely free, ethoblock/roadmap, where I will explain you everything step by step, what you need to do to become a blockchain dev. Okay, so let me see. Abhijit, I'm not that good at front end. Not interested. Well, that's a mistake. If you're not that good, then one more reason to follow. I have no idea what to create. I want passive income. I don't want to spend a lot of time marketing. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like you're gonna make a lot of money, dude. Like before passive income, I can tell you that there's gonna be some active work, some very serious active work. All right. Is there a reason why you don't code it on Solidity? Yeah, I already mentioned that before. All right. Someone said go with DApp smart contract as beginner. All right. So with next stream, we'll probably do more Solidity. That's for sure. Why not use Polygon? It's cheaper with gas fee. Yeah, so basically, all you have to do if you want to use Polygon, that it doesn't depend on the app, so it depends on the user. So the user, for example, if I'm connected to Polygon, then the transfer will happen to Polygon. If I'm connected to Ethereum, then the transfer is connected to Ethereum. But it's me, the user on my wallet, who have to decide this. But what is also possible is from your JavaScript, you can send a request to Metamask to ask the user to change. You say, hey man, actually for our dApp, we use Polygon. And then the user will have to agree on this. So this is also possible. All right. I think we covered everything. So yeah, thanks again, everybody. Thanks for your patience. That was amazing. And yeah, we'll do better next time. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.